Yo, welcome to BreakStreet. I got my special guest, special friends, Mr. Ben from the Knucklehead Zoo, Las Vegas. We got Twixx from the massive monkeys residing in Las Vegas, but from Seattle. And welcome, guys.
What up? What up? What up?
What up? What up?
Dude. All right. So the world knows you. The B-boy world knows you, but we want the rest of the world to know who you are. So if you guys could introduce yourself, and then what everybody wants to know is, how did you get your name? And then what was the first time that you saw breaking? Was it in a movie or live or both? So Ben, we'll start with you.
All right. Okay, so my B-boy name is BenStacks. How I got my name? Well, my real name's Ben Amar, and everyone used to call me Ben because it's easier. And so I rocked as B-boy Ben for hella years. And then actually when Instagram came out, I put my name as BenStacks because at the Jabberwocky show, we used to always play a B-boy game called Stacks on Stacks, where you stack one freeze and then the next guy stacks another freeze.
Oh,
and you stack in the freezes. So
I didn't remember the stacks. I just remember Ben.
Yeah. So
it's BenStacks.
So we were playing that game like every day, and then Instagram came out, and it was literally like a spur of the moment, like BenStacks. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And yeah, so it comes from stacking my freezes, because I started identifying a lot with that game. It's like, dude, I love this game because that's what I do anyway. I stack like low freezes and anything where I try to keep my feet off the ground, from touching. And then then I was like, boom, IG, and I was like BenStacks, and then it kind of just became my B-boy name because Instagram became something else, bro. I didn't even know how important that move was, because Instagram was nothing at that moment. You know what I mean?
Right. That's crazy, dude. And so how'd you what was the first time you saw someone break, or in the movie or something?
Oh crap, in the movie? Dude, I feel
what was the first time you saw someone break? It didn't have to be in a movie. It could be any time that you can recall.
Man, I want to say Teen Wolf.
Really?
I think that was the very first. I don't know. I think it might have been Teen Wolf first, because I didn't watch like BreakStreet and stuff like that till I already knew about breaking, and I got into breaking, because I was into like graffiti and all that stuff from watching like Juice and DJing. I was into DJing, and then I got into breaking from seeing breaking on like graffiti videos. But I think my earliest recollection of me trying a backspin when I was a little kid, I was wearing like pajamas, and I remember I hurt my back. I was like, but I saw it from Teen Wolf, and I was a little kid.
That's crazy. It's like a little itty bitty scene, right?
Yeah, he's windmilling in the hallway.
In the hallway.
He does like a windmill.
Man.
And it's like
windmill got you
real quick. Yeah, I think that's my earliest memory of.
That's awesome. All right,
Shout
so
out,
Mr.
Shout out to the 80s babies. Shout out to the 80s babies, baby. Teen Wolf. Woo-wee.
Oh, was it in movies or in like VHS?
No, I think I was at home. I don't know if I saw it in the movie. I don't know, but I remember trying it at home, and I had these tile floors, and that shit hurt.
You thought it was like mad slippery and easy, like the movie.
Bro, no, that.
All right, Mr. JD.
Yes, sir.
What is your at? It's at
Twixx TWIXX _MM.
And then bam, look at this, bro. And I can just put it.
Bam.
Amazing. All right, so how'd you get your name? And then what was the first time you saw breaking?
Oh man, how I got my B-boy name? I got it based on my love of sweets. I got a tremendous sweet tooth. Yeah.
So do I, dude. That's crazy. Okay.
Back in the day, like when we first established Massive Monkeys in the late 90s, as we were getting the crew together and getting the members and whatnot and building our team and our family, I was still kind of in search of a name. I started off going, of course, by Flips Freshest, actually. And that was
what was it?
Yep, Flip Freshest.
Flip Freshest. Okay.
Yep. And that was because, of course, I was mad acrobatic and I was a gymnast. Like, that was one of the sports that I'd done for many years. And so that was, I guess, a strong suit in my breaking, was the fact that I could tumble and I could flip. But, of course, in the scene by that time in the late 90s, there were already like 3 or 4 guys with the name Flips, and
right.
The one being the most reputable was Flips from Skill Methods. So I thought, okay, well, they've been already rocking that for a few years, so I got to change my name, but I got to figure out something that, is dope.
Your first name was Flips Freshes.
Yeah, so it was like a first and last name. It was like Flip Freshest. So I was like, oh, I can go but like I said, everybody had a flip in it at that time. Like there was like at least 4 different flips. So I was like, all right, I'm not going down that path then. If there's already that many guys that have been repping that name for a couple of years, it's just easier to change my name because we haven't built up that much of a buzz yet. Right. So I'm with Juice Boogie one day, and he actually used to work at a Red Apple Market. It's like a Subway, like a Safeway or an Albertsons. And after practice one night, he asked me to give him a ride back home, but he wanted to stop at his place that he worked, which was Red Apple, because he wanted to do some grocery shopping. And I was like, all right, bet. So we're in the grocery store, and he's trying to help me figure out a name, and he just starts naming things off of the shelves. And so no matter what aisle we're in, he's like, how about this? How about that? How about, we're going to call you Scooter. I'm like, no, that sounds great. No, you're not.
Name shopping.
Name shopping, right? So we finally get up to the register, and this is back in the day when they used to sell like 3 candy bars for $1 when you would leave the grocery store. So I had grabbed 6 Twix candy bars because they were $3-4.
Yeah, Twix.
6 of them. And Juice looks at me and he goes, man, I'm gonna just call you Twix, you sweet tooth ass motherfucker. And I went, oh, you know what? That's actually kind of fresh. And I was thinking to myself, I can spell it with 2 X's because there's 2 candy bars in the packet.
Oh, right.
So that's when I changed my name it was Tight Twix in the beginning, and then I just took off the tight and just left it as Twix.
Damn, Freshest Tight Twix to Twix.
Yeah, Flips Freshest. I'm gonna call you that now. Flips
oh shit.
God. All right, so what was the first time? I'm gonna call you. Yeah, I like the first one. What do you like better, Ben? Flip Freshest or the other one?
What was the other one?
What was it? Twix.
Flip Freshest or Tight Twix?
Tight Twix or Flip Freshest?
I mean, I like Twix, but Flips Freshest it's just cool to see that it came from there, because it makes sense. Like, dude, this was the flipper,
I would have never thought it was from candy bars. I thought it was like, I don't know, like Tricks or like, you know what I mean?
No, it was just because I just like sugar. I like candy.
It's like the most obvious reason, but obviously we
shout out to Marcus.
It can't be that. It's got to be something else,
Right. It started off as like on some inside joke type stuff. He was actually roasting me. He was actually clowning, and I just, was like, oh, you know what? That's actually kind of fresh.
So you became the dopest Twix ever. Say no, but it's always fun to see people's names. I'll tell you mine after. But so what was the first time you saw breaking?
First time I saw breaking ever definitely was on screen. That was the movie Breaking. And the funny thing is, like, my first choice when it came to street dance was popping. I wanted to be a popper. I wanted to be like Boogaloo Shrimp and Taco.
The popping drew you in?
Yeah, popping drew me in because around the time that I wanted to start dancing was around the time that I was interested in girls, and athletics wasn't getting the girl attention that I thought it would get. So once I found out that women like dudes that could dance, of course, I'm from the R&B era,
Yeah. And, I was a big driver for a lot of us in junior high.
Yeah, guys and singing and dancing, that was it. So when I discovered that, I started dancing secretly, and trying to perfect skill. But I used to think of what style was appropriate to like be able to like to dance like on the street, but then also if you was dancing with a girl, it wouldn't look crazy and awkward. And then you also
that makes a lot of sense with what you do for for work.
There you go.
There you go. You're training.
It all came together.
Right.
Into a Twix.
So from breaking to going from where you're at.
But yeah, so originally popping was the first choice, but then in the city that I grew up in, like this is before meeting Massive Monkeys, like I was out in the South End Federal Way, so it's about 25 minutes south of Seattle. I had some guys that used to, tell me that I couldn't practice breaking because I was put in like a crew as a popper, so I used to have to just pop and I couldn't do nothing else.
It was crazy.
So they used to bug me, and that was definitely like a '90s thing. Like what you started as was what you were. So if you were
right.
If you were a B-boy, you were a B-boy. If you were a popper, you were a popper. You didn't cross the lines.
Yeah, or you quit.
So when I used to get irritated because when I used to practice breaking at practices with the crew, they would stop me and be like, "No, you're supposed to be the popper, so you got to practice." So I got annoyed and I said, "Well, I'm not popping anymore," and I just stopped, totally quit. And then I devoted the next 25 years to breaking because it was kind of like little low key hate. They were like, oh no.
Wow, you just drew that through 25 years. Like I can't pop.
Dude, that's a trip. It's
But
funny
then
how
after I got good at breaking, and then I proved all those guys wrong that thought I wasn't going to get good at breaking because of all the excuses in the world. You're too muscular. You're too tall. All of the things. And then I went back to popping. So as of recently, like really just picked up the popping bug and really just went back in on training in it. So a lot of cats are surprised. They're like, yo, you can pop, like for real. Like, yeah.
Answer.
I've had that in the back pocket since, our beginnings in 99. So yeah.
I remember Juice, shout out to Marcus. He told me one time he does like a lot of popping to like practice freezes.
Yeah. He loves Juice always loved locking. Like that fool surprisingly could lock really well. But he always kept that secret. But yeah, he would be at the house jamming. He would turn on some fucking old school 70s funk and go off. And we're like, yo, bro, why don't you enter a locking battle? He's like, oh, you know how Juice is. He's mad secretive when it comes to his dance ability.
All right, we're gonna get right into this. That was an awesome story, guys. I'll tell you my story. I was with Jeddick in a alley in Fullerton, and I was thinking my name, and I was like, what should I be? Should I be Foot Action or Friction? And Jeddick told me Foot Action was stupid, and I went with Friction. And then what's it called? And then we used to practice with Easy Rock, like in Fullerton. And I asked him, like, what do you think is a good name, Foot Action or Friction? He said Friction's better. And so I went to the Blueprint Jam. It was like a jam, like in '96, and I like ironed on Friction on the jersey, and then from there, I'm officially Friction. So that was it. So all right, so we're gonna watch this battle, guys. You guys are in this battle. I don't know where Flea Rock. I don't know where the homie Flea is, but he might be busy. But buy his shirt, guys. We're gonna give him a shout out. Let's give Flea a shout out. We want everyone to get commerce. And if you guys see any shouts out,
right.
Boom, boom. I will do it in a minute. We'll do it in the commercial. All right, ready, guys? We're gonna watch the battle. I'm gonna have to turn it down because the music, if it's too loud, we can't like even hear ourselves talk.
Right.
Hey Twixx, have you watched it back yet?
Yeah, I watched it a few times.
Yeah.
It was
so
hot.
Go ahead and we can just talk through it if you like what you see. If you want to like explain it, even especially when it's you.
Yo, you know what this battle kind of felt like right in the beginning, though? It kind of felt like a halftime show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Crowd kind of like checked out for a bit. I don't know if they were taking a piss or what, but like it was just a little slow start, I think, on the energy wise from the crowd. But watching it back in the footage, it's like it's just dope to see these B-boys out here. Like just seeing, boom, we're starting off with Roxrite. Like, that shit.
Right. Man, there's a lot of 90s greatness in here. You know what I'm saying? Like guys that have been in the game 20 plus years, 25 plus years, and just seeing where everybody has gotten. And
yeah. So how did Ronnie ask you guys to go? He was just like, "Hey, what's up? Can you battle?"
Yeah, I think.
Oh, damn.
With me, I think he shot me a text message because Ronnie is actually my landlord. I actually stay in one of his houses.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
He's frequently stopping by, or we stay in close contact. But yeah, he had just was texting me. He was asking about the house and how things were going over here, and we needed landscapers to come and whatnot. And then also was like, yo, by the way, man, are you free to do a battle, an exhibition on my team?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fuck. So I took the day off work, and I had a busy weekend the week before. Because I was in Europe visiting my girl, and then the battle was right after I got back. So, yeah, he had asked me to do it, and I said, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a battle, and was eager to do it because it was a dope team.
Yeah, it was sick. Look at the setup was good. Shout out to John Jay. Like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, those chairs are fire.
Right?
Yeah, Queen Asia. Who's this girl?
Isis.
Isis.
Right? Isis.
Oh, she's the one. Is she the one that stopped the battle between Gravity and the other guy?
Yes, that is.
Okay. All right.
I walked in the middle of that. I didn't get the full spec until I seen Gravity's post, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Some drama.
That's what happened.
So this girl's from
Jeyna, Battleborn.
Oh, Battleborn.
Yes, it's Ronnie's niece, but she's Battleborn. That's Jeyna.
No way. It's Ronnie's niece?
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie's a vampire, dude.
I know, right?
I don't know about Ronnie.
Dog, Trey from Knucklehead 2 is Ronnie's nephew too.
What?
Bro.
This girl's nasty, dude.
Eee.
Yeah, and she's only been dancing for a short time, so it's just the beginning for her. That's
Nice.
Wow, she kind of smoked her. So, like, who do you guys think won that round? Let me pause it real quick. Who do you think won that round between the two girls?
Oh man, I don't know.
If you don't know, oh, we're gonna keep moving forward. Let's go.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, I didn't know I was judging. You gotta
Nah,
let me
that's
know in
okay.
advance to pay attention like that.
I know I'm a terrible judge too.
I mean,
Oh no, where's Twixx?
because I can watch breaking and literally just enjoy it, but then if I'm gonna judge, I gotta put that judging hat on. You know what I mean?
You're right, bro. Like I'm a terrible judge too, dude. I like just enjoying watching. I don't want to like notice all the details.
Yeah,
But Luigi's ill.
Luigi's ill.
Yeah, look at that. Ooh. Like that whole squad, the squadron, they got such cool style, you know?
Yeah,
They're like old school rock steady.
that was dope.
So Luka is just amazing.
Luka's crazy.
Another Vegas resident.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he
So
just
when,
working with this, so we've been training like 3-4 times a week.
Twixx, we can't hear you.
He definitely brings like a lot of energy and inspiring. Twixx, can't hear you. What happened?
Can't hear you.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me put the banner.
Oh, I like that.
We'll fix it quick.
Sick. I think those were my favorite exchanges of the battle. Was that like Luigi Luka kind of counter? You know what I mean? That was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Bet.
Okay, cool.
Luka's a monster.
Yeah, dude. That so easily, dude.
That round was nuts, bro. That was like I think he said it was like a minute and something. He was out there.
Okay, this is a dope move. His rollbacks to a 90 and then rolls it back in.
Yeah.
This kid's dad's like a dope b-boy too.
Oh, word?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his dad's like from Chicago.
Oh, word. Okay.
He's actually dope. Really dope.
That's what's up.
So when was this battle during? Was it before the final?
After? Yeah,
yes.
It was before the final.
Right before the finals.
Oh, right before.
And the b-boy, yep. So it was like a little intermission, but we tried to give him a dope show.
Yeah, you guys killed it, dude. Shout out to
Yo, I think like if they do a battle like this, like it would be dope to see it like almost in the beginning of the event or something, just so it doesn't like
it like sets the tone.
Short, because that's the only thing that like I was disappointed that me like at least 3 of us only got 1 round. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you know, I noticed that. It was like I was like, wow, that was kind of short with all you guys.
You know, just to you know, just so it feels like the battle was finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone was breaking out if it's already at the final. There's a lot of breaking before this.
No, yeah.
Right. It was crazy. Ronnie told us about like how much of a buzz this was creating before the battle started. Like when we got there that day, we were all sitting down at brunch, and he was like, "Yo, man, like everybody's talking about the battle more than they're talking about the brackets." And we were all, really? So knowing that, I think going into this battle only made it better because there was such a buzz about it. So with all of us knowing that, then we really wanted to just like have it be worthy of that buzz. So everybody was just on point. Everybody just went in.
Yeah, no, it's
like
legends. You guys are legends, too.
That's really what this battle looks like. It's even hard to like judge because you see each round is just such a like it stands alone. You know, it's like, dude, he's presenting his style right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he actually he kicked off my chest there. That was pretty dope.
Bam! I saw that. Dope move.
Dope Twixx.
Yeah, Flea's dope, and Twixx just is dope too. So you guys can go back and forth all day.
Oh yeah.
So what were you thinking?
Cool. It was cool to have that exchange.
What were you thinking when you're dancing, dude? What was in your head?
What was in my head?
Just dancing? Or you just?
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure just to stick my sets and just be present in the moment and just really enjoy it because the battle was really, like you guys said, man, it's just a display of an era of b-boying that isn't seen a lot anymore, and it isn't as
sick.
It isn't as pushed. You know, like you see a lot of guys from the 90s, and in our generation, it was all about being who you were. And that's what this battle is really showcasing is like, oh, everybody here dances different. We're all breaking, but everybody has their specific style, trademark look,
Right.
and
And
is
signatures.
okay with it, and signatures, and is okay with it. And that's what creates the texture of the battle, because nobody's trying to look like anybody else. And it's just the era we come from, and that isn't really seen as much in this newer era, and this newer generation. You know, it's not as emphasized as it was for us. So to be able to be in this battle and show it and show what it looks like was dope.
What were you thinking, Ben, during your rounds?
You know what? I wasn't really thinking, and I thought
Just
about
dancing?
that. Yeah, I was just dancing. The first round that I get out, I always feel
this was
like
nasty.
yeah, Roxrite is always nasty.
Go on.
What I'm saying is like, with the first round of a jam that I do, I feel like I can't out there and dance, or else I'll feel weird. You know what I mean? But after I get that first round, then I can be like, okay, now I'm gonna do this, and that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of weird. So the first round, I'm always.
You already mastered your mindset, right? Like
let's go out there and enjoy the moment. You know, for the first round. And then after the first round, like right there, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, now that I got those moves out, I start constructing my second round. You know what I mean?
Right. And do you guys get nervous still? I think everyone does. Like before a big battle, do you get nervous, especially when it's like now at the fucking level everyone's at?
Yeah, I think it's more of an anxious nervous. Like we want to get started, we want to get involved, we want to get going. Versus we're nervous and scared to dance like we used to be, like when we were like in our teens and 20s. It's more of an anxious nervous to get started. Like let's hurry up and let's get this underway.
Yeah, I love feeling that feeling now, bro. It's like,
oh yeah.
I remember in the beginning, right? You kind of hate that feeling. You're like, oh, dude, I'm nervous. Now when I start feeling that in my body, I get happy. It's crazy. I'm just like, yes, awesome. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You feel the adrenaline flowing, you feel that dopamine, that serotonin releasing, and you're just like, yo.
And after so you can like identify it. It's like, okay, that's what that is. I'm good.
Yep.
I mean, like,
and like it's like a blast, you know, like it's you're using positive energy, negative energy, everything, and the music just pumps through you.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately the phones aren't great for the Red Bull stuff, you know, because the licensing.
Right.
The licensing.
Like, shout out to the DJs. They actually were giving us dope music.
Yeah, they try their best, you know, that's what they can do.
Yeah.
And you guys still killed it, like, you know.
They definitely were putting on. I hate when I get into battles and just sometimes the DJ song choice just isn't the greatest, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, it kind of messes, but like, you know, at the same time, that's like kind of the game too. Like, you know, you gotta still do dope shit.
Absolutely, you're rolling the dice. It's all about the randomization, and that's just part of the game.
Like, this is just something I just saw. Like, I noticed that Luigi's taking like the old school moves and kind of making them dope again. You know what I mean? Yep. Not that they ever lost dopeness, but like the way he's like doing it gives it that kind of old school vibe that it's like 2022. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like presentation for sure.
Like that power swipe that he did in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a last.
That's one of my favorite intros. The top swipe to Ninja. Oh,
look at what we can do, guys.
E3-1.
Oh, awesome. Look at that. I can bring it back. So what move were you think you're saying?
This first top swipe to Ninja.
Top swipe to Ninja
freeze. Way to do that.
That's classic 90s. Yeah. Boom.
Cool.
Clean.
Like what's cool is like that move was done back then, and so many people have done so many different ways on how to change it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It still looks different,
but then it's kind of cool to just do the original version. You know what I mean? Like, and so I like that. That was done.
You know, you never go wrong with the classic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just putting it all together, his presentation, you know.
Yep.
He's got a little package. Yeah, Luka just a silent killer. Like, he'll just blow it up.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, and when this whole thing started, everybody kind of chose the guy that they wanted to go after. And that was that exchange right there. Luka was bent on making sure that he was like, Luigi's mine. I'm going to go after Luigi. Like, that's who he wanted to match up with. So,
right.
You know.
Man.
He just makes it look easy.
That was nasty.
Ridiculous.
Like
that's the thing about like being so good at your stuff is like you make it look easy, and sometimes the crowd don't even fucking realize how amazing of moves you're doing. Like,
right.
Because I feel like the crowd should have been like, ah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, the crowd was just a little.
There we go.
Well, going back to the seats and stuff like that, bro. People are like they don't have the energy because they're exhausted physically. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can't go because they're sitting down like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then the people leaning, it does. The comfort level of the seats is not good, so that affects the O's.
Yeah.
Everybody was sitting down and had a drink in their hand. They'll be fucking wilding out.
Let's rewind that.
So.
Oh yeah, Peanut went in. That's the call out round.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go to Peanut, back to Twixx because you handled it. Yeah, boom. This kid's fly. Ooh,
nasty.
That's cool.
It's funny. Right before this, he grabbed Flea's gun and shot him.
Nice.
I was like, all right, I got to answer back, huh?
Ooh. It's such a tight space, dude. You're tall. You're not normal size, bro. You're like a lot taller.
Yeah, that's what surprises everybody about my breaking is I'm not breaking.
Let's rewind it. What were you thinking?
Bro, this is when the battle started getting good. I was about to
Did they show? Oh yeah, it's almost over, huh?
Bro,
all right, so JD, what were you thinking?
That it was just getting going too. I felt like that energy that Twixx brought, and then the energy that Phil brought, and then dude, I was like, oh, it's on. I'm gonna go out. I was gonna come out flipping too because it was like, all right, it's Flip City time. Let's bring it.
Yeah, I think it was once the fact that cats like started calling out.
Yeah.
Once Peanut like gave me the direct like, hey, I'm talking to you and address me.
Yeah, everyone's having fun. Like the energy's like having fun now, and they're like,
no way, did they cut it? Did that girl cut it?
Yeah, she had to cut
it.
That was for me. Right after the battle, I was like, I have breaking blue balls right now. You know, like it was like I almost got to get out there.
Now I'm sad, dude.
Man,
yeah,
I know.
Wow. Hey, well, it was a dope battle, but yeah, dang, yours are right. Like me as a consumer watching it, like just not being.
You needed more, right?
Like, damn, that's whacked. It just
the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger, bro. It's about to get good.
Yeah, it was. They could have easily went 10 more minutes.
Bro,
so let's watch. All right, so great, guys. So tell me what you guys think. How did you guys like the battle? You know, what are your thoughts on the battle after?
The battle was. I mean, this is okay. If I'm gonna get a Jerry Springer final thought.
Final thought, baby.
Okay, so final thought on the battle. Amazing lineup. You know, amazing choice and amazing display of like individual style and signatures. You know what I'm saying? That was amazing. The only thing for me is we definitely should have gone longer, and also the placement of it. Like, I feel like we got to realize what is suited for a halftime show because we know that the people need that time to go take a piss. And what's suited for. Let's be more creative on trying to find a better time slot. You know, whether it's I don't know. I'm throwing ideas out there. Might not work, but the beginning of the jam, after the finals. You know what I mean? Because then everyone is in this party mode, and then boom, a dope battle starts, and you can let them go as long as they want. You can have ciphers on the outside if people don't want to watch. You know what I mean? But then it has the freedom for it to get lit, and then rolls off into the after party. You know, but I mean, cool experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Yeah. Piggybacking off what Ben said, the lineups was dope. The buzz about it was dope. It was unexpected, which I think gave it its magic because we weren't expecting it to be such a highlight part of the entire jam. So yeah, better placement of, I guess, that special battle would have been, I think, ideal. And yeah, just some more time just to really, get loose. Because it was just starting to build up and get like really good. So, but then it's also kind of dope because then it just leaves everybody wanting a little more, So they're gonna just hopefully do more things like that, like put on like these little cool, special, magical kind of battles or intermissions, or you just place them better, or just give them more time to breathe and exist, so people can talk about it because it's like history. It's like stuff being made like on the spot and stuff that is going to be remembered, 10 or 20 years from now. Like, yo, y'all remember that one BC one where it was this and it was that? Like,
you know what? I also have like, also what I think too is like all those b-boys that you saw there, people love to watch them get down, right? But a lot of them might not be the ones that you're gonna see competing in Red Bull BC1 right now. You know what I mean? People have careers, people have like other responsibilities, right? But and also, you know, they might not be in that place where it's like, okay, I'm gonna compete, you know, at this again and again and again. Maybe they've done it a few years, but we still want to see them dance. You know what I mean? So it's cool that they have these exhibitions so that we can. So you still have them a part of the event, and people get to watch them. But then but it's almost like a super fight. Remember when they used to have like UFC back then? Super fight. You know, it's like, bro, like I think that's a good element. It's a great element because, you know, also like where do b-boys go in the battle scene after they're like done really competing? You know what I mean? You know, like after they've kind of like they've done it for like after how many years? Like I think Jung Korean wrote on my thing like BenStacks with his style for 20 something years. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know, like
it's dope. It's dope, but like not massively dope yet.
Yeah. So it's like after doing that for 20 years, like, do you still want to be there competing, or should you, or can you still be? Because we do it because we want to just battle, we want to have fun, we want to be a part of it, right? But I mean, if they have more things like that, it's just a keep everybody involved. You know?
Yeah, because usually it's out of sight, out of mind in the community, so people don't see you at the jams or in the competitions and think you're not training, and think you're not dancing. So yeah, it was cool to display. Like I'm always training. I'm always, because breaking has gone beyond, I think, hobby for me. It's more
martial art at this
point. Yeah, that's the way I approach it, because
like a yoga practice.
The first thing I've done as a kid since I was 5 years old was martial arts. So the fact that I've spent so much time in this craft, that is what it's become for me. It has become another martial art. It's become another discipline. So anytime I don't practice or I don't train, I feel crazy. I don't feel like myself. So that's why I'm like, oh. And I'm at that point where I love training just to train. I love the process of training. I just love that feeling. So I'm always training, and just training to be ready for whatever may come, a battle, a show,
life,
a performance, just whatever. So and it's just cool to display that, because like Ben said, we've been in the game 20 to 25 plus years, and these guys are, still wanting to see us dance, but we're handling being professional performers now. And then on top of that, still remaining in the culture and not totally removing ourselves, and still trying to be present, still trying to show up to the jam, still trying to come and judge and compete when we can, but also maintain careers, like you said. So and it's all revolved around one skill, but you need definitely peace of mind, and you definitely need that balancing out, like psychologically, emotionally, because then you don't want to burn yourself out with the craft, with something that you love, but then it becomes work, because now you're having to do it in so many different capacities, and you have so much expectation. And then at that point, you're just like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore.
I think the training aspect is what keeps me feeling like it's not completely work. You know what I mean? Because I'm still working on it. And it feels like I'm just working on myself. Like it, like I'll be
self-mastery all day
backstage, you know what I mean? And we're practicing moves that we're not even going to do on stage, you know what I mean? But we're working on it, and I feel like so good, you know what I mean? And then I go on stage and I perform, but it's like, man, you go home thinking about that training. Oh man, I had a great training and blah blah blah. You keep building, and it's like that's what makes it more than just a job, you know what I mean? It's like this is that martial arts aspect. This is that ever evolving too. Like, man, I look at footage, like it doesn't matter what year, even if it's a year where I was killing it, you know what I mean? And I look at what I'm doing now, and I always appreciate what I'm doing now more, because I know like the little fine details that I've improved on, you know what I mean? And that comes from just continuing to practice,
It's self-refinement, self-mastery, you know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. We're just constantly chipping away at the clay that we don't need to sculpt the best versions of ourselves. And it's just one of the channels that we do and we use to do that. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful process once you start to really enjoy the process. And and this is the outcome, is you just see masters sparring. This is reminiscent of the old days of martial arts. You know, you see in the kung fu films when you have one guy, he wants to go to a whole different part of, you know, Japan or China, and he wants to test his skill against this clan leader over here. Like, oh, I want to try my Wu-Tang boxing against your, you know, your Dalai Lama style or whatever. It's like it's very reminiscent of that, and that is a large part of
Like
the
a real
dance
life Street Fighter.
culture. Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that we can do this in this way, and you know, we can spar and challenge each other and test each other's skill, and it doesn't always have to be about beef. It don't always got to be about confrontation. It doesn't always have to be about a negative feeling as much as it becomes now as we're older and we know how to do it. It becomes more of, you know, sparring and sharpening each other. You know, steel sharpens steel. So
yeah, and you don't have to worry about the judging outcome either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of
you versus you.
Sometimes it's like man, like the judging outcome. Sometimes it's like, dude, it's a factor in it, but does it really matter? It's like you went out there, you killed it, and if you did your shit so dope, like it don't even matter if you won or lost because you feel good about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not really lost. Well, I think that like going in that, you guys, those are all fantastic points. Like going into it's like a show. It's like because it's like breaking in so many different aspects. It's like a show and a competition. Like you could do both, and that's why that's why I think in the future it's gonna be a very very important dance. Like right now, people don't care. Like if we say we break like 20, 30 years, no one like cares. You know, like after the Olympics, people might care. You know, like so it'd be more of like a you know, a career and like the positive negative. I was thinking about it like the battles. Even it's like a heated battle. It's like a negative energy, but then it turns into a positive. So it makes something that's even more powerful versus like someone fighting. You know.
Right.
And with that, and then like with the like all the stuff that's happening, like we make the game, so we need to make it a dope experience, like or be part like the leveling up of the battles, like the seats, the like entertainment, the schedule, what people see, what they get, swag, whether it's online, live, all those things are gonna get worked out. But we make that game, and like it's kind of up to us to figure out what we want to happen for the future, like as far as show aspects, like get a show, work in a show, create a show, have a studio, have personal training, have education, have product. We just got we're the ones that need to figure that out because no one's really gonna do it, and we have the brains to like the new kids that are coming into it. I think we have the brains to market to them well, and like they'll understand what we're doing. But like you guys are right, like it's a martial art. Look how young we all look. People, if we were to like say how old are we, most people aren't gonna like figure it out. They're like, nah.
Yeah, they trip out all the time when I tell them how old I am, and I'm sure for Twixx too, right?
Yep.
Like,
I get the wide-eyed look. I get really.
People
I tell people it's breaking, and they don't believe me, and I'm like, dude, it's like founding you, dude. Like,
people that
I mean, because low key is exercise, right? It's exercise. It's moving your body. It's getting your blood circulating. It's letting your body know that it's alive.
And it's mind body. It's like
it's exercise and it's dance too. I think that aspect of the spirit. You know what I mean? It's a celebration.
Absolutely.
And your spirit is celebrating, and it's like I think, man, I don't know what it is, but it definitely dance has some kind of like youth. I mean, it's not youth, but just I don't know, anti-aging components. Or something.
Oh yeah,
something, dude. Because
you're releasing nothing but you're releasing nothing but good endorphins. You know what I'm saying? In all ways, when you dance, you feel most of the time you feel good. Or even when we use dance to harness and to channel negative thoughts or negative feelings afterward, you still feel good because
it turns a negative into a positive.
Yeah, it flips it.
Released.
Yeah.
Flips freshes.
Flips freshes.
Look what I could put, bro.
There you go.
Look at that. Bam. Isn't that that's just crazy, dude.
In the house.
Like, what the heck, dude? All right, okay, so dude, you guys are amazing. I love you guys, man. All right, so I'm gonna have you judge a battle. We're gonna judge the finals.
Oh snap!
All right.
Of the battle. So just give your opinion, and disclaimer, guys, these are all opinions. So don't get your panties in the twist if you're crazy online. All right, so we'll watch the final. Ali versus Conrad. Did you guys see this? Actually watch it, or are you guys busy doing something?
No, I was actually watching this one.
What about you guys?
Yeah. Out of the back green room and came and said, "Let me watch some of these battles."
You know what? Another disclaimer is too. Like the judges that are there, they've watched these two guys battle all the way up to the finals, so they have like a different insight too. On like let's say repeating moves or
Right.
whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's on how they make their decisions. So
Yeah,
not
that's true. And then
not
on
to say
top
that
of that,
anybody do that, but sometimes people just go and they watch the final battle, but that's not the whole story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
true. Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
that's a really good point. And like I tell people, like on the other recaps we've done, that this is the final battle. So these guys have done multiple sets and rounds and moves, and the judges saw that all that, so that the viewer just watching one battle, like you said, Ben, like you can't really make a full decision because
Right.
you'll be like, oh, that set killed the other guy. It's like, but he did that set his prelim round.
Right.
That count, So
Right. So
not
yeah,
saying that these
all
guys
those
did that, but
consideration.
so yeah, disclaimer. But that's gonna
And
be
that's the
interesting.
thing. And that's the thing that people don't understand about judging. And I got into the comment section a little while back because of, people talking reckless and having a little bit more courage online than they do in person.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I love it.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I indulge the conversation because I know that's where it's coming from because these people don't have the courage to
They'll
say.
never even see you ever anywhere. Like they won't even show up to jams.
So that's exactly why I call it out. Sometimes I involve myself in the conversation, and people are like, Twixx, why do you? Because I'm not afraid of the conversation, and I never have been. And I'd rather have it in person because then you can really articulate. And the fact that I can't articulate,
Yeah, make
this
a
is
real
why
point.
this is why I chose this, or this is why I judge this way, or this is why. It's just you can kind of tell when people are in the right mind space for that and maturity for that conversation. And then other people just want to just see people react, and so they get
People
online.
just want to get mad to be mad.
Well, no, they want to trigger people to be mad.
Yeah.
So they just say the most outlandish crap online because they know somebody's gonna get fucking aggravated and all of a sudden become emotional. Is what their aim is.
they want attention, bro. You know.
Yeah,
Or
of
this
course.
crazy. Yeah.
So sometimes I gotta politely check with actual support to what I'm saying and not be afraid of the typing
Yeah.
of
I mean,
the combo.
it can be fun too, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and when you kind of shut them down without being a dickhead, when it's like actually if you go back and watch, and then when they can actually correlate what you're saying to the battle, then they're like, oh, then stuff gets quiet.
And it's like a private account, like with fucking a bunch of digits in
Oh,
them.
they're hiding all the time. It's never a profile where it's somebody's picture and it's actually them. It's always some kind of character. It's the default stuff, like the default screen, and it just has a screen name and maybe 2 or 3 posts. It's like, okay, you're hiding. So the fact that you're even that language and like that already says so much before I even go into it. So I'm going into it already. Well, you're kind of scared already because you're hiding behind an account to say what you got to say. I'm on my account as me. It's me. You see, it's me. So yeah,
that's funny. But yeah, I think it's gonna get even funnier. But we gotta like capitalize on that like bickering back and forth for battles. But it's funny at this point in time because like everything happening is like it's not exactly the right way. We're kind of building as we go. Like, so why is there 3 judges? Why is there 2 judges? Why don't they have 5 judges? Why are the judges all next to each other? Why aren't there judges in different parts of the circle so they have different angles? Why isn't there instant replay? Why isn't there?
I think there's
so much
there's a lot to question still.
we're still
kind of
building
like
this thing, dude.
We're still figuring out what works best.
Yeah, the games that we play, like 7 to Smoke, the Octagon, stuff like that. Games that can be played, and that's another thing. Like like we're saying, you're bringing up, Ben. Like, what's to do after the battle portion of your career is like you're kind of over it, and what can you do? Like, you can maybe exhibition these games, like kind of like how pro wrestling business is like that, where it's like setup stuff, but then there's storyline.
Break the game.
Yeah, break the game, like video games.
Or
I can tell you, breaking is gonna be the sport of the metaverse because breaking you can have dope with just a few people and videotape it, and if it's hyped up right, people will watch it online. Football, basketball, you need thousands of people.
Right.
You can't just have that every weekend with like 100 people, but breaking you can.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's go into it. So, all right, we're gonna like kind of give our perspective on these battles, but you guys are giving really good points, so kids in the future can watch this and get like. So we got Ali versus Conrad. You guys saw it live. It's a pack battle. What time is this at? How many battles? How long has this been from beginning to this battle?
I think this is already like I think we're hitting like what 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time to start?
Between 9:30 and 10.
Started at 5. Doors opened at 5. So this is 5.
This is like 5 hours into it.
Yeah. Which is not bad for a B-boy jam.
Nope, not at all.
Isn't that sad to say?
Well, that's all. Like once you get corporate, once you get sponsorships involved, they're really on.
Yeah, and I think that's why they cut your guys' battle because they're on.
That's exactly why.
And I get it.
They didn't want to, but they were like, "Yo, we gotta maintain schedule. We gotta keep this on time."
Right. No, I got you guys. But Conrad, I saw his battle. Conrad, and so let's try to pay attention to best you can. And I'm a terrible judge, disclaimer. So I just like watching the battles. Those seats are really dope, though.
Those seats are dope. I regret not sitting in there and getting a picture.
Getting a picture?
Yeah. Just,
I got one.
damn it.
Yo, so Ollie's super nasty. Is he practicing with the guy? Who is he practicing with?
Who,
Isn't he Knuckleheads? I think he's Knuckleheads.
He's OG Zoo. But he moved back, or he lives in Salt Lake City, so he's been the zoo's been kind of in transition. Everyone's been doing a lot of different things, and so he's been rocking with like Mighty Zulu Kings of lately. But yeah, he's OG Zoo, man. He came from Mig 187 and Eric the Dis and Ali.
That makes sense.
They all got down to the zoo at the same time.
Wow.
From Angels of Death.
Right. Ooh, that was dope. Ali did a dope set and looked like he's doing a dope set. That's
so far
right there, dude.
Nice.
He's hitting his footwork to the beat. That was both 6 rounds, dude.
Yeah. Whew.
And instead of judging who won, I just want your guys' opinion on what do you think a deciding factor is in winning?
Execution all day for me, every time.
Right.
Every time.
We'll discuss it more after the battle.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the execution. If you don't execute it, kind of like
you're
kind of like lost.
You're baiting the water after that. Yeah. Sharks are coming.
And this kid's just fresh, dude. So he's in the Mace Maya gravity camp.
Yep. Yeah.
He's worked on his power a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first seen him, he was like his footwork was like boom. He was a footwork kind of dude, but
like a T-Rock.
Got a nice he's got a nice mix of like good power and low. Ali has some crazy just concepts that they just flow and
the fluidity in his transitions are stupid.
All right, he dropped his bandana, dude. Do you guys think there's something if you drop your gear in your set that takes away a point or something? What do you think?
No. For me, it's distracting for me, or it's a takeaway for me if you drop a hat or if you lose an article of clothing and you go for it and you
acknowledge it.
You acknowledge it. He did the right thing. It fell out and he left it there.
Actually, if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't have even realized. Did it fall out of his pocket?
Look, it's right here.
It was in his pocket. It fell out of his pocket.
So it wasn't like, play.
So here, watch. We'll go.
I think it's different if like you're doing something and your fucking fresh ass hat falls off right when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're dropped off.
Yeah,
dropped off when you did the windmill.
Yep.
I think he's lucky that it was black too.
Yeah.
Right. See right here, boom, it dropped.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
And he saw it. He saw it, but you see how he didn't acknowledge. Like he acknowledged it, but didn't acknowledge. Like didn't go for it.
Right.
And that's like that's a masterful.
Did you see that?
Woo.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Around
that back, bro. Ali's ill, dude. He does so many moves, dude.
Dude, it's the devil in the detail for Ali, and I feel like you have to be a knowledgeable b-boy to understand that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
that's 100% correct, bro.
Absolutely, and I actually that was the conversation I was having in the comments when cats were talking about the TMB versus the Red Bull BC1 All Stars battle in Philly. I was like, look, you got to have a certain eye, and you only have that eye over a certain amount of time in this dance to see those details, to see what a lot of other people want with a 10-year eye versus a 25-year eye. You know what I mean?
Very true, dude.
Nice. I like how Conrad is making sure to throw in like a combo. And like a power move.
Yep.
Dope, dude. He just got concepts, power.
Nice.
Damn, is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah, it was like only 3.
I feel like if I was the judges, I think the last round might have been what swayed them to pick Ali, but I mean the first 2 rounds were definitely close. Like those are tough.
So you guys don't got to judge it, but I would say like just maybe talk about the battle like between Conrad Ali, like you like how Conrad style and Ali style, and what are some of the deciding factors? Speak on. I know JD's execution. What are some deciding factors you have in a battle?
Yeah, man, it's always, and see, and I try to make sure I'm very knowledgeable in all the different styles because, of course, you know, you're gonna have people that are gonna favor the different elements of breaking. You know, you have some people that like footwork more, some people that like power more, some people that like dynamics more, some people who are more stylish, some people who are a little bit more athletic. You know, people a little bit more eccentric and artistic, and you know, the guys, you know, we call them like, you know, not the freaks, but you know, the obscure breakers that are like, they love flexibility and they love being obscure.
Right.
So with all those different branch offs, it's great to see because it's all the different ways you can break. And I feel like that's a great thing because it just doesn't limit people to being like, oh, you either got to dance like Rocksteady and be a true school b-boy, or you got to dance like a West Coast b-boy and do nothing but power and spin and try to fly. You know, you have so much texture now within the dance. It's just, in those competitions, like you said earlier, and I said this to a lot of guys that ask me advice on how to improve or what to improve on, and I tell them a lot, like, you can't neglect any of the variables that you're in that you're dancing under in the environment. You know, you got cameras, you got audience, you got judges, and you got the vibe. You can't neglect either one of those because all of them are present. So you can't go to a battle like BC1 and dance like you're in a cypher at Cypher Addicts. The energy and the vibe is not going to match. You're not going to dance well. You can't act like it's a show when you're in a cypher battle. You know, you can't put on a performance. You can't be in performance mode when it's a concentrated, intimate cypher battle. You know, that's something personal. So it's knowing how to perform in a certain environment that you're placed in.
It's a different language. Each one of them is a different language, so you got to speak differently. You know what I mean?
And with that comes, like I said, execution at the end of the day is always who's better in the moment, because you can't judge somebody on what you know them to be able to do, because then you're placing unfair weight on the person that you're like, well, I've seen you do this last week and I know what you're capable of. Just like you can't judge somebody on their potential. It's like, well, I know you have the potential.
Sometimes, you know, you guys know that sometimes has happened before. Like,
people, absolutely.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then like other guys that came from like a whole different country did it way better, but didn't get picked, you know?
Exactly.
Or bro, judges will tell you like, oh, you did this move into a different move instead of that other move. I was like, so you thought that I messed up because I chose to do this, like, okay, for me was a double aerial to the freeze, you know? And this is why I had to stop doing it. There's many reasons why I stopped, but when everyone looks at you as one move, it starts to fucking fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's a very interesting point, dude.
You know, so like, dude, I've lost a tiebreaker because I went double aerial flag freeze and I stuck it and I stared at the guy and I was like, oh man, I got this, right? And
Right.
It was my wrong person. I had a great time. And then two of the judges were like, oh, but you didn't do double, and I'm like, bro. So I chose to do double to the freeze, and I executed it beautifully. Like it was good. You know? Yeah, and because I didn't do it that other way, you know, I lost, and it's just like, dude.
Yeah,
like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna judge me on something that you wanted me to do? You know?
Yeah. It's not reality in the moment, and that's why I say execution always is the determining factor, because that's the thing that's gonna you're gonna win by inches or margins, but it's all based on who's better in the moment, in that split second, right then, right there, who is executing better, who's hitting their freezes a little bit longer, who's hitting the syncopation of the music a little bit more frequent. It's all in that moment, and that just means that person is better at executing under pressure in that moment. It doesn't mean that overall, although the person that lost was whack, and you know, or this or that and the third. It just really just showing, like, in that moment of that day, this person just was better at performing their skill.
Yeah, execution.
And that's really, and you know, and it doesn't matter what style you're doing, because a good judge would be knowledgeable of all the different styles. So it's like, okay, if you want to go out there and be eccentric and have a flexibility style, and you know, be like a Benji or like a Lilu or anybody like that, and you got somebody like Chico or somebody like
Little G,
Calistrito or Little G, and they're dancing their way. It's just all about who's executing, who's showing that they have a mastery over their style, who can control their moves. It's like, so
but if you think about it, Twixx, that's judging on round to round, right?
Exactly.
So, and then what makes it complicated too, or not complicated, but what's like
No, it is pretty complicated.
yeah. What makes it complicated too now is like you have judging like that where a judge is going to sit there and he's going to make the choices on the overall and who won this round, boom boom. But then on the Olympics, you know, it's broken down to different categories, so each judge is judging on different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, to me, what's fascinating is like which one is a more accurate, you know,
right.
decision, because it's like, and this is just judging round to round. What if
Right.
like before how battles were, it was like, dude, they battled for like, you know, 20 minutes, and you didn't know who won until like the very end. Someone killed it so bad, and then the other guy was like, "It's over, you got me." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's, battles could be won too. So it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's complicated, bro.
Well, the thing is with the round for round, for me, I don't just look at like the overall. The funny thing is when I'm judging, I'm looking at all those little those details and like how they use the hour system, where it's like, okay, dynamics, okay, top rocks, okay, foundation. I'm analyzing all this.
You're doing all it yourself.
I'm doing, so it's just funny to give it a actual visual now, because when I'm judging in that round for round basis, it's like who's hitting all the points on the checklist for the overall picture. It's like, okay, who's hitting all
everyone could have more points, like they could add more stuff.
And now it's just cool to see with technology, we can see the numbers if they were numbers, versus like, okay, this person hit this more frequent and this person hit this more frequent in a ratio. If we're talking about numbers, it's like, okay, you can see the 8 out of 10, or you can see the 6 out of 3. So that's the way I've been judging. So it's like funny to see it now visually, and everybody has all these different systems, but a good judge would be already doing that in his head. Like as he's tabulating the round, it's like, okay, but this guy didn't dance on that part. You know, he went out and he did this and he executed, but this guy executed more things on the checklist that are considered overall a good, balanced, complete round.
Yeah,
true. But what about like, let's say instance, this is where I think maybe that system of always judging someone on how good their top rock was that round or how good their power was that round.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's a language. So what if the guy comes out, does like a power move combo, and then he actually does some footwork and he scores these many points, and then this guy over here is like, oh dude, you just entered my world, now I'm gonna end you, and he does the most amazing power move combo and the crowd's going nuts, you know, but then he didn't get those points of like these other things, so he could possibly lose that round. You know what I mean?
Possibly. Again,
so
depending on who looks the most complete.
Yeah. So then I guess like going into that as a competitor, you have to understand what you're required of too. You know what I mean? Like if you go out there, like, look, kill his round, but make sure you're not neglecting these other.
Exactly. And that's all the stuff that we weren't told when we were battling, because a lot of our OGs could not articulate that. They couldn't really get down to specifics because they didn't know how to say it.
But I don't think it was a sport yet either. You know?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
So they were just it was really about burning the other guy. Like, dude, I used to go to jams in the beginning of my breaking. My mentality wasn't to win. I didn't care who won the event. I don't think, in my mind, I didn't know that anybody cared who actually won, because we were all there.
We just went to go dance.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go smoke some guys in the cypher.
Yeah, but even in the competition, for me, I remember entering is like all I wanted to do was fucking make sure that I fucking do hella good, and I smoked that person in the fucking first round, and like I'm gonna smoke that person, and I was taking names like
because it's easier after you burn the first person, and you're like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Everybody,
and it was a different idea, but now that it's into the sport world, everything has to make sense.
Right, and the funny thing is, on the flip side, Ben, I came from being an athlete, so my
used to points.
My analytics for sports and stats have always stayed with me, because before I was a b-boy, I literally was a student athlete. I played every fucking sport. Martial arts since I was 5. Next sport after that was gymnastics for 8 years. Football, wrestling, basketball, track. Like, I played every sport. So I think for me, that mentality of like maintaining of like, okay, well, was there this, and like the analytics of sports never left my brain, because I remember even in the 90s, I used to get flack for that, because being an athlete trying to cross over into being a b-boy in the 90s was hard as fuck to do. We used to get a lot of criticism for it, especially being in the gymnast realm. You were like, oh, you're a gymnast, you're coming over here trying to break.
Oh yeah.
You know, so And I even say that a lot about like our generation. Our generation, it was really, if you made your name in our era, you really put in some work.
Yeah, you're a
Because
legend. Like we all
our
knew each
era
other,
was
you
the
know.
most critical. Our
You
era
knew
was
who
the
was
most
breaking.
critical.
I'm just
And it
playing this in the background, guys. Don't worry about it.
yeah, and
Also,
it was
our era was the most critical in terms of like people looking at you and passing judgment on if you were good, if you were whack, and this and that and the third, and also if you really looked like yourself, or if you just looked like somebody else and you were just biting off of somebody else's style.
Then you could tell someone the style. You couldn't even look at their shadow and then breaking. You knew who it was.
Yep, and I was just having that conversation with one of the roommates. I said, if you're from the '90s, Cass, we could look at people's silhouettes and knew exactly who it was by the body language, by how they did their footwork, how they did their power. Yep. I could look at somebody and go, "Oh, that's Benny," or "Oh, that's Tough Kid," or "Oh, that's Ben," or "Oh, that's RJ," or "Oh, that's Dunot," or "Oh, that's Easy Rod," instantly.
Yeah, just a glance.
And there's not that distinction anymore in the scene with the younger generation. Everybody, like the lines are blurred.
Well, people have bit a move, that bit a move, that bit a move. So like the kid doing it, like saw like a third biter.
Exactly. It's Attack of the Clone Wars is what I call it. It's like Attack of the Clone Wars. It's like you start to see the lines blur and everybody's starting to look a little bit similar and starting to dress a little bit alike and have the same hairstyle and the same B-boy style. It's like, we couldn't get away with that in the '90s at all.
No, that's probably like these guys like Gravity. He's like coming up with, he's coming up hard and we guys support him and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and seeing the Gravities, the Kid Davids, the Luigis, the Caspers, those are like the kids of the tail end of our era.
Right.
So that's why they still have so much distinction amongst them, and why they still look so different, and why they're still also so fresh is because they're at the tail end of that golden era, and that golden era was something else.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like going into that, those are all great points, guys. With like the judging at like that's where it comes into like sport, like how many points or like verbiage, like, and it is complicated because we do it, we've done it, we lived it, and it's still hard for us to explain. You know what I mean? So it just needs to keep like
we just need to keep
putting their input,
refining the process pretty much.
Yeah, refining how it's kind of easily explainable to the masses, so it's not so confusing. Like take all these complications and put it, but it's gonna take work, dude. It's not gonna be overnight.
It's gonna take time. And I mean, we're on the right track now. I mean, from breaking from where it was to where it is, and that was our conversation in the '90s. We were those kids that were saying like, "Yo, what if breaking went to the Olympics? And what if breaking went to this?"
All this is
that's crazy. That's crazy to me to think like, bro, when we were 17, when we all were sitting around at after parties, we used to have these conversations talking about, yo, man. Imagine if breaking was in the Olympics.
Crazy.
Yo, and after it gets there,
like
fast forward 20 fucking years, and here we are.
Yeah,
dude, it's about
and after it gets there, we're gonna want to create something else. You know,
true,
because that's where my mind's at already. I'm like, okay, the sport, it makes sense. You know what I mean? As like the way that we're doing the round to round. But then now I want to challenge the round to round as being like, what if the rounds were timed? You know, like first round 3 minutes,
like how they do with all styles or stand up styles.
You know, because then it's like who won that time frame of that battle, and let's not make you guys have to just be like, hey, you do your 30-second, 1 minute, round. What if it's different strategies that they're pulling each other out there with short conversations to longer ones to, you want to go power? Let's go power. You know what I mean? And then
and they're starting to do that in certain jams. Like you look at some of the jams overseas, they're starting to categorize like that now. They're starting to have those rounds where it's like, okay, you got to do this round. Okay, you got to do that round.
Yeah.
So it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen.
It's like it's a game built
stuff, you know? Because then you can have different different people are gonna
stupid dope. Lee,
I heard, from the Ruggeds. Yeah, I hear the Ruggeds.
I just like magically put this on. This is the one that popped up. Anyways, go on, Ben.
That was sick. No, what I was saying is by challenging the system of just the way that we battle like this all the time, I also think like different people are going to arise from those different challenges. Like you might have different champions, you know, you might have this guy that we haven't seen kill it in the round for round, but in the time limit, he's the champ. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that could
that's different games that could be created. You know, there could be a bunch of games off of breaking. It doesn't have to be just one. You know,
right?
Really, just like
that was that was a mirror, right?
That was nasty. That was a nasty exchange. Well, the cool thing to watch.
Yo, look what this guy just did, dude.
Bruh.
Oh my god, look at this movie just did. The bridge.
The way he got into it. Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
I like that.
I'm sorry.
Like
JD,
that.
what were you
Rewind
saying?
that one.
Oh, it was just saying it's crazy to see
slide.
like how the way that we place the parameters, how it evolves the dance, and it makes these kids so skillful so soon. Because it was the same thing for us, right?
It took probably
We had a
years,
certain environment that caused us to be as good as we, that triggered us to be as good as we were for our time frame in that specific parameter, in that specific confine, right? So as we're talking and we're saying all these things, just like when we listen to our OG saying, "Oh, well, you got to do this, you got to do that," we were those kids that were like, "Oh, yo, okay, we got to do all these little things," and then we were the kids that we made them look at us like, "Yo, what the fuck are you kids doing?"
Yeah. Like,
so now to be a part of that and to be having these conversations and to have some of these kids be paying attention, and then they come out and you see battles like this, and they're like, "Yo, they're hitting everything," and we said this, we said that, we said this. It's giving them that stimulus to be that good and to watch it actually come to fruition and turn into reality. It's like mind blowing. It's like, oh snap!
Well,
we kind of help like that growth and that evolution of these dancers. Where I'm looking at these kids in amazement, like, where are you guys getting this? And then I think back, I'm like, oh, they're getting it from what we say.
The internet, and the internet.
Yeah, all the like different panels and discussions we have about, okay, well, skill level wise, we got to make sure you're doing this and doing that. And they're going, okay, bet. And they go and do it. And then when we see them actually execute it, we forget it's from us. It's like, oh, those are the expectations we put out there. So it's like, oh, bet. And you get people who actually, shouldn't say expectations, there's a better word for that, but for lack of a better word at the moment. And then they actually meet them, and then we're blown away. And it just keeps me wanting to. It just is funny. The circle, it just inspires me to like, damn, I got to go practice now.
Well, like, kind of wrapping up, guys, because we've been on. Like, thank you so much for doing it. Yeah, it's so right. And like, the skill level is so crazy now. Like, you guys remember when you used to hear about moves? Like, if someone did like 590s, you heard about it. And then you would be like, nah, and then you have to see it. Now the kids are seeing the battles live, like their competitions, and like they're seeing breaking in a different. They're seeing it kind of organized, like from what we started. So it's
because there was always vast time before we saw what was the hot thing at that moment. You had to wait 6 months to a year,
and you were lucky if someone recorded you. You were lucky to see the
absolutely.
And like, how many times it was you, and then they cut the camera because it's VHS. So it's just it's just nuts. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. So let's do any shout outs. And thanks for doing this. I'm doing these recaps every Tuesday, and I urge you guys to do, if you got some cool concepts, start doing YouTube. It's great. We want to do some other businesses, but anything for you guys to shout out or peace out. Go ahead.
Shout out at Super Crew on IG. Everyone go follow at SUPERCR3W.
It's super. Look at, I'm the producer.
And Crew with the 3. We're trying to build up that IG, again, because we're also like, doing our own personal stuff. So obviously at BenStacks, you know what I mean? We had Twixx's name up there. Follow us on Instagram.
Most definitely.
And let's try to share this video. You know what I mean? I'll post it up on my
post it up.
Absolutely.
Or my IG. We can post it on the Super Crew channel.
Definitely. If you send me the saved video, I definitely would love to post it. Because
we need to have more media.
We need to have, like, the kids need to hear these conversations so they understand. Like, you know what I mean? That's a part of the culture, was sitting around with the OGs and having these talks in like intimate settings and just being like, away from the dancing and just sitting down and just having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get to hear this stuff much. So it's definitely needed.
Yeah, go. So Ben, are you finished with the shout outs and stuff?
Yeah.
You good? All right. JD, any shout outs?
Man, shout out the crew, Massive Monkeys, Footwork Fanatics, Super Crew, LODB crew. I'm in a lot of crews, Calypso Tumblers, Groovaloos, Dance Masters, Nation of Funk, all my crews, all my families, love y'all. And the ad's right there. You're trying to find me on IG. It's the same for Facebook, Twitter. I'm not hard to find. Just send out the bat signal.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for doing this.
Zoo LV also. We changed our Knucklehead Zoo IG label now too, so it's at the Zoo LV.
Word.
And
Dougie is
at the
at,
end,
what is it, at the zoo?
the zoo, LV.
That, hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
How
And
crazy this is.
At the zoo.
Is that right?
We got all the wild animals at the zoo, bro.
I know Vegas is like popping, bro. Like battles in Vegas are always popping now because like you guys have so many
they're
dancers
crazy.
there.
It's been like that for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I would
only
say,
gotten better.
Vegas is more popping than LA, bro. Because the LA is like kind of so spread out, and there's so many generations in LA, dude. Kenny lives here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got the squadron people here. You got our squad. You got the young kids, the new kids. I
Yeah.
would say Vegas is a little bit more popping.
Separated. Yeah, at least in Vegas, one good thing is the city's not that big.
Yeah, tighter community because geographically it's smaller.
No, it's good. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out. You guys are always welcome on the BreakStreet.
Oh man, thanks for having us, bro.
Yeah, more battles.
Good talk.
Yeah, it's dope. I think kids are gonna like this, you know, for the future. People are gonna reference this like in 10 years and be like, they're gonna want to eat up. Like when breaking hits the Olympics, people are gonna want to find out why is this happening? Who made this happen? All you know, and all of us can capitalize and do some cool stuff.
Word,
all right, guys, I appreciate you. Peace out. We just log off. I'll just end the broadcast. I think you just log on the bottom. He said, "Peace out, doggy."
Peace out, man.
Later, y'all. Thanks for watching BreakStreet. I'm out.